Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to do a page in my traveler's notebook today, but before I get started I just wanted to kind of show you what I'm going to be working with today because I was exceptionally lucky and got to kind of pick and choose my own design team kit from Citrus Twist this month, and I just want to show you what I picked out to use. The first thing that I will say is that I've gone ahead and printed out all of the back to basics journaling cards, and I even used some of the traveler's notebook papers and just trimmed them down to 4x6 cards. So I'm not sure that I'll use any of these today, but I have definitely got a huge stash of cards to use this month, so I am super excited about that. I'm loving digital. There's no waiting for shipping. You know how it is. So I've got a pile of digitally printed cards that I printed at home. I just print them on my inkjet printer. I've just printed them on some American Crafts textured cardstock, nothing fancy. I'm not into fancy. I can't get my hands on fancy papers at the moment, so I'm using what I have. I did print them on the smooth side of that cardstock, so they're not quite as textured, but that's all I'm working with. Now, as far as my little kit goes, the first thing I picked out were the tickets and tag ephemera. You can see, I love them. The colors are perfect, and I will never run out of tickets and tags with this particular ephemera pack, so that was definitely on my list of favorites. I grabbed 2 packs of tiny word stickers. These ones are cardstock stickers, and these ones are tiny word stickers. This is the, I can't remember which one is which, to be honest. These ones are the Flourish, I think, the Flourish pink tiny words, and these are the one-of-a-kind cardstock tiny word stickers. I have got the chipboard shapes from, this is actually from the March release, but I thought the colors worked really nicely with all of the other goodies that I had picked out, so I added them to the kit. I had to grab another sheet of these. These are my favorite little Fresh Starts Tiny Alpha stickers. I just love that coral color, and they go really nicely with some of these digital cards for this month, so I've grabbed those. I also grabbed another March exclusive, hard for you to see. This is those white puffy stickers, puffy alpha stickers. I've used the black ones, I've used the ombre ones, so of course white I had to grab as well. And then I picked out a little bit of a different stamp set this month. This is called the It's Weathering stamp set. I don't have anything even remotely like this. I will say I was mostly attracted to it for this kind of I don't know, grid kind of journaling card stamp, but then when I started looking at all the other little icons and the weather sayings, and because this is not suited to one particular season, so I just feel like it's going to be kind of a year-round basic that I can use a lot, and I'm definitely going to use that today. It was kind of the basis for the page that I want to do today. And then I will say I did pick myself up, I did purchase this myself, the Bailey Thick and Thin set. I use the original Bailey Alpha a lot, and so I wanted to grab this one too. In fact, I'll grab the other set. You can see how well used this one is, but side by side you can see a comparison of the kind of size difference in there. So this one is a little bit smaller, but I think it will be great to have both of these. So now I've got both sets, so I've got 3 variations of this particular alpha, which the eagle-eyed amongst you may notice is the same font as the puffy stickers. So those are all the things that I'm going to be working with today. I'm going to pop these all aside and set up, and then let's get cracking. So I'm starting with a brand new notebook actually. This is the first page in my March notebook, and I've got a full page photo because I had this beautiful photo of this gorgeous blue sky. It was just really the perfect summer day. So I printed that full page because I want to do a little bit of repeat stamping with that great stamp set, and I'm just going to add a few other little kind of embellishments. Now, I really loved that 3x4 card that says another favorite moment,
Am I worried that favorite's not spelt the way I would spell it? No, I'm not. I'm just going to use that. But because I've got that huge expanse of blue sky in that photo, I figure that's kind of like the perfect place to add some sort of little cluster up there. The only issue that I'm having is that it's like blue on blue. And so I went through some of these tags and tickets and just kind of pulled out a few little colors that I like. The kind of text in that card is like this very light pink color, so it sort of made sense to me to add a little bit of pink. I'm also going to create a second cluster down here on the right hand side. Like this page mostly going to be stamping, but I want to add like a couple of lines of journaling. So I picked out this kind of larger, and it's not very large to be fair, but this little larger kind of piece from that die cut pack that I figure I can type a couple of lines onto, and I'll maybe add a ticket or some other things down there anyway, just to kind of bring in all of the colors that are in the spread. Now the 3x4 card was just a little bit big up there. I decided I would trim it down, and then I decided that I would turn it into a tag rather than just a square edge. So I'm just grabbing another tag that I had handy so that I can clip off the corners, and that way I'm just making sure that I'm getting those angles correct. I lined it up in the middle, and then I'm just hole punching through the middle. So everything's just really easy to do with a template like that. When I printed this digital card, I didn't trim it particularly well, so there was a little white edge on there. Normally I don't mind that too much, like I'm not too pedantic about that sort of thing for project life, but because this is like a dark card sitting on sort of a mid to dark background, you can very obviously see that white line, so I did just trim that down in the end. And now I'm going to create my own little ring enforcer. These are digital cards, so I have no problem chopping into them. I can very easily go ahead and print another one if I need to. This was the perfect pink. It was almost exactly the same color as that quote on there. So I just hole punched, and I always do it this way. I hole punch the little hole first, and then I use a larger circle punch around the outside. That way you can line it up into the middle and just create your own little ring reinforcer. So I adhered that on, and I've just pushed the notebook out of the road for a minute. It's easier to just work on this full page photo. One of the things that this chipboard sheet has is these two clouds, and I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to get a more perfect place to use them than on here. They are quite large, so they're going to probably end up being a bit big for like project life or anything like that. I just think they're the perfect addition to this kind of little cluster up here. So I was only slightly against it because this is the first page in this notebook, so I've got all month to work in here. And the very first page, I'm filling it full of chipboard. So it is quite a thin chipboard in comparison to, say, some of those like crepe paper chipboards, which are like super thick. So it is a little bit on the thinner side, so I'm hoping it will be fine. But really, I mean, I couldn't not put these clouds on there. They're too cute. So I am layering that pink, that double pink like ticket in there just to get a little bit more of a cluster, a little bit more of that pink. And I had that underneath the second cloud. So the first one I sort of had pulled off the side of the photo, and I've trimmed the side of it. The photo that I've got, I did trim it a little bit shorter than the page width. So there is a fairly decent gap. I don't know, measurement wise, maybe like a couple of millimeters between the edge of the photo and the like middle of the book. So even though I've got chipboard stuck right in there, it is going to be able to fold flat when I need it to. Now I was kind of desperate to put that yellow sticker in there just because I feel like it needs a little pop of brightness, like that contrast of colors in there. The pink and the blue, they work really nicely together, but they just need a little extra something. I'm going to come back to that. I just wasn't really certain where I was going to put it, so I've ignored it for now. You can see here, this is how I typed my journaling onto this die cut. I just adhered it onto some scrap paper. It was supposed to be temporary adhesive, but I think probably putting it through the typewriter has kind of like mashed it together, so it was a little bit harder to peel back off. It doesn't matter, it's just scrap paper, but that way I can run it through, especially something that's very narrow like this, and my typewriter fits it perfectly. So I'm going to use this little scrap paper here and do some repeat stamping. I'm not putting too many stamps on here. I'm just going to stamp this one stamp that says nothing but sunshine. And I'm just going to repeat stamp that a lot. I have put the stamp on an angle on my block. It's going to give me less kind of obvious vertical lines. Otherwise, sometimes when you do them like perpendicular to the page, you can get really kind of obvious straight up and down lines. I find with a single stamp, stamping them on an angle like this just helps it sort of blend together a little bit more of it as a pattern. But I will say, because I'm only using one stamp on a block instead of my usual kind of mixed stamp blocking, this did take forever. I was trying to be really careful about it, trying to keep it all nice and straight at the same angle, and I haven't left too much of a gap between the stamps in either the rows or alongside them. I did start to get a little wonky, so I started again from the top and worked my way down. It's not perfect, but at the end of the day, it's pretty good. I picked a yellow that was kind of as close a yellow as I could get to some of those die cuts and stickers that I wanted to use. It's not quite so bright. It's a little bit more muted. I can't remember the name of the color. It's Shea Butter, I think, from Catherine Pooler. And so it kind of just blends into the background. You can see it's like creating your own pattern paper, which I love. Now I'm going to layer those labels on there. I also want to layer another stamp, so I grabbed this larger circle stamp that says "Today Look Like This." I didn't want to stamp it in black though, so I've grabbed a navy blue ink since I've got all of that blue over on the left hand side. This is how I'm going to balance it out over here on the right. You can see I'm going to hide a portion of that circle underneath my little die cut. I'm also going to put, I wouldn't even call it a title. This page doesn't really have a title, I guess. I'm just going to add a little word with my favorite wee alpha stickers. I'm going to use all these E's, can you believe it? Just going to put in the word perfect just along the top. It's kind of more of another like element to this cluster than it is like a title. I didn't want to put like perfect day or anything like that. I'm just putting the word perfect. I'm leaving little gaps. That teal die cut actually has some lines in there, so it was super easy to get those straight too. And this is where I'm going to come back in with some stickers, because like I kind of really want to add some of these tiny word stickers. I was feeling like that side of the page didn't have enough blue on it, but the blue wasn't really right. It wasn't as blue as the left hand side, so I'm gonna go with yellow, and I'm gonna, like you can see me, I'm like still debating it, and I'm like, no, it needs some yellow, so I'm gonna put another sticker over here on the right hand side, left hand side, and then all I've got to do really is just stick my page down. I did notice this really pink arrow though, which is almost the same pink as the other like tickets that I've used on there, so I popped that on. It's pointing to my pretty photo. It all kind of makes sense. I'm going to take my photo down and call that page done. So I was right. I was super enjoying using this little curated kit, and I love the way this page turned out. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye.